And the news that we're just getting in right here on India Today is that according to sources in the government, India is planning now to confront Pakistan on the Headley revelations. India is mulling on sending a fresh dossier to Pakistan to nail the 2611 masterminds. We are getting information from government sources saying that evidence is being given by Headley is admissible in Indian court, and therefore Pakistan can no longer say that India is short of evidences. We have Deputy Editor Smita Sharma live with us now to tell us more. Smita, you know, the standard line of defense by Pakistan has always been that they don't have enough information or proof, or even fail to identify those captured here in India. But how strongly is India now going to be taking up this case with Pakistan, who so far have failed to walk the talk?
Well, you know, most of what David Headley has said today in his deposition, Avantika, was actually a part of the NIA interrogation, in fact, sheet, which was done in the US and which has been a part of the US trial as well, you know, where David Headley has been served a 35-year of prison term. Now, what is changed is that part of the NIA, in fact, interrogation sheet has now become admissible evidence in Indian court. So it's become legal evidence now following his deposition. So this is something that will be a part of that dossier that India will prepare. So far, more than a dozen dossiers were handed over by India to Pakistan, which actually included all of these names of the handlers that, David Coleman Headley had, in fact, mentioned to the American as well as to the Indian interrogators, be it all the three handlers that he has, according to him, in the ISI, which was Major Iqbal, in the Pakistan Army, which was Major Abdul Rahman alias Pasha, as well as his LET handler, which is Sajid Mir, and of course their handlers and their bosses as well. But every time Pakistan had said that these people do not exist or there is no evidence. So this will only add to more maybe symbolic diplomatic pressure at best. Ministry of Home Affairs is the one that will be, you know, looking at preparation of such a dossier once the deposition process and the legal testimony is over. Remember, the two NSAs, in fact, have been in touch in the wake of the Pathankot attacks also. India, which was looking at restarting the dialogue process after Sushma Swaraj's visit to Islamabad, Narendra Modi's visit to Lahore. But the dialogue process has once again been frozen, only with the phrase that it will be resumed sometime in near future. In the Pathankot probe also, Pakistan continues to stonewall. Reports from Pakistan media coming in to suggest that they have given a clean sheet to Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Azhar Masood so far as the Pathankot investigations are concerned. So this could also perhaps go the same way again, but it will definitely give India a little more diplomatic weapon to try and pressurize Pakistan.
Okay, Smita, we also have Kamaljit Sandhu there, who's getting us an update from the Home Ministry. Kamaljit, you know, in many ways this is of some sorts a diplomatic victory for the Indian government, because the revelations made by David Coleman Headley only corroborates India's stance so far. But what are they expecting? You know, what kind of response are they expecting, and why are they feeling this need to, you know, issue a fresh dossier against the Pakistani establishment?
Well, this may just be posturing as far as India is concerned. Remember, NIA has done much of the interrogation in United States. But what is more important is that this particular revelation is not made just to the IO, which is the investigating officer, but in front of the court, which obviously gives much more credence to this entire theory and interrogation. And remember, armed with not just circumstantial evidence, but hard evidence, and also how David Coleman Headley now has turned a prover. This will not only embarrass Pakistan but also force them to take action. Now, we've seen in the past that Pakistan has done very little as far as this particular case is concerned. I remember Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi, one of the main accused in this particular case, also fathered a child while he was still behind bars. This is something that India has always objected to. This is also a case where Hafiz Saeed has been almost let off. India has obviously raised concern regarding this case in different platforms. This is the biggest terror attack on Indian soil, and India has taken this extremely seriously. But yes, the fresh evidence and fresh summons, perhaps we should also remember that what is more important now is whether David Coleman Headley can also now depose in another case which is being looked after by the NIA, which is the larger conspiracy hashed by Lashkar-e-Taiba as well as Huji against India. And what was the conspiracy really? Remember, the letter retrogatory was sent in 2011 itself. Now, what is more important is how this deposition can be made to push cases against not just Pakistan non-state actors, but also the fact that some of them in the ISI, which is Major Samir as well as Major Iqbal, who has been indicted now by what David Coleman Headley has said. The other part being about Tahvur Rana, who was actually let off but was involved in another case of Danish bombing conspiracy. The fact remains that he continues to be out of India's limit. Now, they will examine David Coleman Headley's entire, not just a plea bargain, but what he said in the court today, and whether he can be booked in other cases of forgery and cheating by which he made to India and helped the conspirators in this particular case.
All right. Smita and Kabalji, thank you both for joining us.
Well, reports of sensational murder in Delhi. Body of a third-year Delhi University student has been found in her boyfriend's residence in Model Town area of Northwest Delhi.